Greetings everyone, I'm J.S. Franco. We're from 2IT-A and I'm one of the member of the group. So let me introduce the other member of the group, Anthony Ambat, Arcojeres Veronica, Asi Jasper Cedric Nolo, IS Regina Grace, Brutas Ira Christine, and yours truly, Franco April Joy. And last but not the least, Gonzales Maria Manuela. So let me Let me read the case scenario, which is Dr. Rivera plans to open a dental clinic in Cabuyao City and has tasked you with developing a clinic management system before launching her clinic. During your conversation, Dr. Rivera provided the following details for the system. The clinic will have multiple dentists, each identified by a unique employee ID in the format XXXX. For example, the first dentist will have the ID 0001, and the second will be the 0002, so on. Key details for each dentist that need to be recorded include their name, address, contact number, commission rate, and the list of service offered. The clinic will also need to store client information. Each client will have a unique ID in the format year XXXX. For instance, the first client of 2025 will have the ID 2025-0001, and the second will have the ID 2025 to 0002. The numbering resets each year. So the first client of 2026 will have the ID 2026-0001, and so on. For each client, the system must record their name, contact number, and address. The system should also track transactions between clients and dentists. Each transaction may involve multiple surveys performed by different dentists. The available service and their prices are filings 1,000 peso per tooth, check-up and cleaning 600 peso, teeth whitening which is 500 peso, tooth extraction 700 peso per tooth. Each transaction will involve one client may include multiple dentists, as different dentists may perform different services for the same client. However, it's important to note that a dentist will only perform services that are included in their list of available services. If a service is not part of a dentist's offerings, they will not perform it. The system should include a reporting feature that allows user to view details of transaction performed by a dentist, including the recipient of the service provided to a client, and a list of transactions with a total payment for each. The system should also have separate module for managing both dentist and client information. Users should be able to add, update, and archive records as needed. And last but not the least, Dr. Rivera has tasked you with creating an appropriate UML class diagram and implementing it into the system. That's all. Thank you. So let's move to the next member.
Dangal greetings, I am Jasper Asi and I will tackle or discuss about the client.java. It declares a public class named client. Public means it can be accessed by other class. Variables, private string client, ID, client name, client contact number, and client address. And it defines it as private. It means these variables can be accessed within the class. The client ID that stores the unique ID of the client name to stores the client name, client contact number stores the client's contacts number, then the last client address stores the client address. Constructors, this client ID equals client ID, this client name equals to client name, this client contact number equals to client contact number, and last, this client address equals to client address. So for example, this client ID equals client ID assigns the constructor parameter to the instance variable, and the this keyword is used to differentiate instance variables from local variables. Then here yung getters. Getters allow other classes to access private attributes without modifying them. Then to string method, overrides the default to string method to return a formatted string representation of the client's details. It creates a string named client info containing the 5 attributes: the client ID, client name, client contact number, and client address, and return this to string for printing. I will tackle or discuss about the dentist Java or dentist class. So let's start with the imports. Imports. Array list and list are imported from excuse, Java.util because the classes uses them to start services. List is more flexible interface while array list is concrete implementation. Class declaration. A public class named dentist is declared, meaning it can be accessed through or by other class. Attributes, private string, dentist ID, dentist name, dentist contact number, dentist address, then the private, the array list, private double commission rate, private client, dentist ID, dentist name, dentist contact number, and dentist address stores the dentist details. Service, a list of service objects that the dentist offers. Commission rate, a double that represent the percentage the dentist earns from service. Client, a reference to a client object. Constructors, here yung mga this dentist this dentist ID equals dentist ID, then this dentist name equals to dentist name, and so on. So this keyword differentiates between instances, variables, parameters. Ito yan, yung mga this keyword. For example, dentist ID for dentist ID, then dentist name for the name of the dentist, then dentist contact number for contact number. Getters or accessor methods. Getters returns private attributes so other classes can read them. Adding and retrieving services. Add services adds a service object to the service list. Get services return the list of services this dentist provides. Displaying service. Use a for each loop to iterate through service and append them to service non-bracket. And return string containing all the services. Checking if the dentist can perform a service. Loops through the service list and checks if any service matches service name. If found, returns true, otherwise return false. To-string method. To-string method. Return a formatted string representation of the dentist object, and it includes the dentist ID, dentist name, dentist contact number, dentist address, and formatted list of services.
So, greetings and good day. I am Anthony Ambat and today I will explain the transaction class. So, let's start. So, let's start with attributes. We have this it's a total store the total cost of the services. We have this a list of store to dentists involved in the transaction. We have this a single client associated with the transaction. Next, we have this a list to store service provided in the transaction. We have constructor. So, it's initialize a transaction for a specific client. Um, assign assign the past client to instant variable. Initialize empty list empty list for dentist and service. We have set set total to 0. Next, we have getter and setter. So, this method allow control access to the private attribute. For client, um, the getter is to return the client object. This to return the client object. Next, we have the setter. The setter is to update the client for the transaction. Next, we have for dentist, this for dentist. So here, it's adds the dentist to the list. We have get get dentist. So get dentist is to return the list of dentists. Next, we have for service. So for the service, the add service, the add service to the list, and the get services, it's a return to the list of the services. Next, we have the total. Um, this loops the total for service codes cost calculation loops through the service list. We have adds up the price of each services using get service using this get service price and update the total with the sum and return it. Next, we have method to display transaction by the dentist. So it's retrieve our format detail. About we have the select client, and the latest dentist added to the list, and the latest service added to the list. So return a formative string displaying the transaction details. For overall summary, this class manage transaction between client, dentist, and the service. Maintain the list for multiple dentists and services. We have to calculate the total cost based on added service. The last one is the formats transaction details using the two-string method. So that's all. Thank you. Tanghal greetings and good day, everyone. I am Anton Siambat. Today, I will explain the service class and the transaction class in our midterm project. So let's start. This is it's a declare a public class named service. We have attributes. So here, we have service name. It is a string to store the name of the service. We have next we have service price. So service price are double to store the price of the service. So both are declared in private, meaning they can only be accessed within the service class. We have constructor. So this constructor, a special method that is called when an object the class is created. So we have this service name, this. So this assign the parameter service name to the instant variable service name. We have this set service price. So it's called a private method service price to determine the price based on the service name. We have getter and setter. So this is a getter method that allow the other classes to retrieve the service name. We have setter method. So setter method here. So this method set the service price based on the given service name. We have switch. This is statement check the value of service. We have fillings, check up and cleaning with the price of 600. We have teeth whitening. The the price is 500 and the tooth extraction 700. Since the method is private, it cannot be accessed outside the class. So um, we have getter method for the service price. So this getter method that allowed classes to retrieve the service price. The last one is the method. So the toString method return a formatted string containing the service name and the price. This method is useful for printing object details. That's all. Thank you.
Dangal greetings everyone. My name is Veronica Arcojeres and today I will be presenting our clinic management system or main class program written in Java. This system is designed to help manage dentist, client, service, and transaction class. In this presentation, I will explain our code block by block in a way that is easy to understand. So let's start. This line of this block of code, this part is imports tools that the program needs. Release and list help store multiple records, making it easier to manage dentist, client, service, and transactions. Scanner is used to get input from the user. The main class is where the program start running. So pag nag-import tayo ng mga kailangan sa program gamit ang release, madali nating ma-store ang mga records ng dentist, client, at iba pa. So, for the next block of code, the scanner object is created so that program can read user input. Several RLEs are also created to store data. Dentist holds dentist records, client store client information, transactions tracks appointments, and service contains the available dental procedures. There are also two lists, archive dentists and archive clients, or storing inactive records. Gamit ang scanner, makakukuha tayo ng input mula sa may mga list din para sa dentist, clients, at iba pa. So, this code, several variables and are declared to store user choice and other data. Main choice and choice save menu selection, dentist increment and client increment ensure each dentist and client has a unique ID. String variables store names, address, and contact numbers. While double variables, store price and commission rates. Gumagamit tayo ng mga variables para sa choice ng user, ID ng dentist at clients, at mga details tulad ng mga pangalan at presyo. Um, for the next block of code, a do-while loop display the main menu continuously until the user select exit or 5. The program shows different options like managing dentist, client, transaction, and reports. The user select an option using scan next in and scan next line. Prevents input issues. Paulit-ulit na pinapakita ng program ang main menu hanggat hindi pinipili ng user ang exit. Pwede silang pumili ng option gamit ang numbers. So, for the next block of code, if the user select one or dentist management menu, other menu appears. This sub-menu lets them view, add, update, or archive dentist information. The do-while loop ensures the sub-menu keeps showing until the user choice is 5 return to main menu. Kapag pinili na ng user ang option 1, lalabas ang menu para sa dentist. Pwede nilang i-view, idagdag, i-update, o i-archive ang mga record. So, this next block of code, if the user select one, view all info, the program first checks if the dentist list is empty. If no, dentists are registered and it tells the user to add one. Otherwise, it uses a loop to display all registered dentists. Kung walang dentist sa listahan, ipapakita ng program ang mensaheng walang records. Magdagdag muna ng dentist. For the next block of code, when adding a new dentist, the program automatically creates a unique dentist 001, 002. The user enters the dentist name, contact number, address, and commission rate. Scan next line is used after scan next double to avoid errors. Kapag nagdagdag ng dentist, automatically binibigyan sila ng unique ID. Tapos ipapasok ng user ang mga detalye tulad ng pangalan at ang contact number. So, for the next block of code, after adding a dentist the program asks the user to assign service. A while loop allows adding multiple service until the user choose to stop. A menu appears showing available service and the user select one by entering its number. So, matapos idagdag ang dentist, maaaring pumili ng mga serbisyo na inaalok niya. Halimbawa, pwedeng idagdag ng cleaning or tooth extraction. Um, and this line of code, this block of code, the program ensures that a dentist cannot offer the same service multiple times. It checks the dentist service list before adding a new one. If the service is already there, an error message is appear. Kung pinili ulit ng user ang parehong serbisyo, sasabihin ng program na naka-add na ang service na yon. So hindi na siya pwedeng piliin ulit ng user. So for the next block of code, after selecting a service, the program asks if the user wants to add more. If the user enters one, they can add another. If they enter zero, the loop stops and service selection ends. So, matapos may input lahat ng details, ipapakita ng program ang confirmation na naidagdag na ang bagong dentist kasama ang mga information. For the last block of code I will explain is once all details are entered, the dentist is added to the list. The program confirms by displaying the newly registered dentist details. A loop finds and prints the new details information. And that's all. Thank you.
Greetings, I'm Gina Grace, and I'm here to continue discussing the code in our main class. I'm going to explain the case 3 of the switch statement first, which is the update dentist info. So here, this if statement checks if the dentist list is empty using the isEmpty method on the dentist list. If the list is empty, it then prints out no dentist in the list. Add dentist info first to let the user know that they need to have an existing dentist info in the list for them to update their info. So, if the dentist list is not empty, the program will then iterate through the dentist list using a for loop and then print each dentist name alongside their index. This is so the user will be able to enter the index of the dentist that they want to update. Then here, there's an if statement that checks if the index that the user inputted is valid and not out of bounds. Um, then, if the index is valid, the program then retrieves the dentist object from the dentist list. We save it in a variable called selected dentist, and the user is then prompted to input new values for the dentist name, their contact number, address, commission rate, and their services. And then new dentist object will be created using those updated value. However, for updating the dentist service, there is a menu dedicated for it. The program presents a menu with different service options and prompts the user to choose one. So here is the list of um, predefined services that the dentist may or may not offer in this clinic. So a service object will then be created based on the user selection, and if the input is invalid, there is a default case that will catch invalid inputs and show an error message. However, if um, there is no error, the updated dentist object will then replace the existing one in the dentist list using this set method. And then success message will be printed along with the updated details here in this form. And then for case 4 of the switch statement, it's for archiving dentist info. So at the start of the program, it also checks if the dentist list is empty, because if the dentist list is empty, we cannot archive any info yet. So if the list is not empty, it will then show the list of dentists. It will show the list of dentists that is in the list here in this for loop. And then the user will be asked to input the index of the dentist that they want to archive. And then there's also an if statement that validates if the user's input of the index is valid or not. And then the program then retrieves the selected dentist object from the dentist list, and it is saved in the dentist to archive variable. Then the program will then use the remove method to remove the dentist from the dentist list, and then it will be added to a new or a dedicated array list for the archived dentist only, so that all of the archived dentist info will still be saved in the program, just not in the active dentist list. The case 5 of this switch statement is for the user to be able to return to the main menu, because currently we are in a submenu of the program. So this is so the user can create or add client info or create a new transaction which can be accessed in the main menu. And then there is a default case which catches the invalid inputs of the users. So that's all for the manage dentist info submenu.
So, Tangal greetings. I'm Christine B. Brutas, and I'll be explaining the uh, code implements the menu-driven system for managing dentist records, allowing users to perform various operations such as adding, updating, viewing, and archiving dentist details. The program runs in a loop until the user chooses to exit. Um, so here's the case number 1. So viewing all dentists. When the user selects this option, the program checks if the dentist list contains any records. If the list is not empty, it displays all stored dentist details. If the list is empty, a message informs the user that no dentists have been added yet. So for the case number 2, adding a new dentist. So when adding a new dentist, the system automatically generates the unique dentist ID D0001, D002, and etc. So the user is prompted to enter the dentist name, contact number, address, and commission rate. So this information is then stored in a dentist object, which is added to the dentist list. So, confirmation message is displayed to notify the user that the dentist has been successfully added. So, case number 3. For the case number 3 is updating a dentist's information. So, the program asks the user to enter the dentist ID of the record they wish to update. So, it searches through the dentist's list to find a matching ID. If found, the program prompts the user to enter new details for the name, contact number, address, and the commission rate. So, for the replacing the old values. So, if the ID does not exist, like this, an error message is shown indicating that the dentist was not found. So for the case number 4, so here, archiving a dentist. Archiving allows the user to remove dentists from the archive uh, active list while preserving their details in a separate archive list. So if the user enters dentist ID to archive, so the program searches for a matching dentist in the dentist list. So if found, the dentist is removed from the active list and added to the archive dentist list. So, as a success message confirms that the dentist has been archived. So, this if no matching ID is found, an error message is displayed. So, case for the case number 5, so viewing all archive dentists. Users can also view all archive dentists. If the archive dentist list contain records, they are displayed. So if no archive dentist exists, a message notifies the user that the archive is empty. So for the case number 6 is exiting the menu. The program runs in a loop dual to continuously display the menu options until the user chooses to exit. When the user selects the exit option, the loop terminates and the program either moves to a different menu or stops from running. So that's all.
So, greetings everyone. I'm April Jess Franco, and I'm here to present the code line 436 to 539. So, for the case tree, line 436 to 442, before creating a transaction, the program checks if the client's or dentist list are empty. If either list is empty, it notifies the user and prevents the transaction from proceeding. Next one is the selecting a client. This line of code 444 to 453. In this line of codes, the program displays a list of available clients and prompts the user to select one using an index. The selected client is then assigned to the transaction. Next one is the creating a transaction object, which is the transaction new transaction equals new transaction selected client. For this one, a new transaction object is created and linked to the selected client. This object will store all the transaction details. Next one is selecting dentist. This line of code 458 to 469, the user is shown a list of available dentists along with the services they offer. After selecting a dentist, the program assigns them to the transaction. The next one is selecting a service, which indicate this This line of code, which is 471 to 481. So for this, the program lists the services they offered by selecting dentist and prompts the user to pick one. The chosen service is then added to the transaction. Next one is confirming successful transaction. This line of code, which is system that out the print lines successful selected dentist, offers that service transaction that add new transaction. For this one, the program confirms that the transaction has been successfully created and adds it to the list of transactions. Then ensures that the data is stored for the future use. Next one is the displaying transaction details. This message to show successful creation of transaction, which is system that out that print new transaction has been made successfully. Transaction details. Display info that was just input. System that out that print line new transaction got to string. So for this one, once the transaction is completed, the system displays its details, including the client, dentist, and service information. This gives the user a summary of their booking. Next one is checking for existing transaction. So it's a case for scenario, which is the reporting feature view details of transaction by every dentist. This if transactions that is empty, system that out that print no transaction available, then break. Before displaying the transaction history, the program checks if any transactions exist. If there are no transactions, it notifies the user and exits the reporting features. Next one is the listing all transactions. Consists of these lines of code. These lines of code which is indicating for all transaction features. The program loops through all recorded transactions and displays client names, selected dentist, service availed, and total cost. These features allows user to review past transactions. Now let's proceed to the case 5, which is the exiting the program, indicating these lines of code 529 to 539 is system that out that print lines exiting program, break, default catch, invalid inputs, system that out that print line error, enter a valid input, then break, while main choice equals 5. It's if the user selects option 5, the program prints an exit message and stop execution. This ensures a proper termination of the system. Then, if the user enters an invalid choice, the program displays an error message and prompts them to enter a valid option. This prevents unexpected crashes and improves user experience. Then the while main choice equals 5, the program keeps running in a loop until the user selects option 5 to exit. This allows multiple transactions to be processed without restarting the program. That's all. Thank you for listening and on to the next reporter.
Greetings everyone, I'm Gonzales Marie Manuela and I'm going to explain or present the output of our program, which is the clinic management system. So here, here is the menu of the clinic management system. So you can manage dentist info, manage client info, add new transaction, view transaction reports of dentist, and exit. So let's choose an operation. So here is the operation menu of the dentist. You can view all info, add info, update info, archive info, and return to the main menu. So let's select an operation. Number 1. So since wala pa ngang na-add na information, so no dentist in the list, will be displayed. So let's add. So let's enter dentist name, enter dentist's contact number, enter dentist address, enter dentist commission rate, and let's select services. So here we're going to ask if the dentist will offer another service. So yes, let's select the number 2. So since we already added that service, it will display an error that this service is already added. Then here we're going to display the dentist we added. So let's add more. So here we also added another. So tatlo na yung dentist na. Enter dentist address, commission rate, select dentist service. And that's, we added now the third dentist. Then let's now add update information. So let's update the index number 1. Update dentist name into Luis Hamilton. And update dentist number. Great Britain. Commission rate. Let's add a commission rate. Update. And let's update the services. And that's it. Here na yung updated information na na-update natin for the dentist, Lubis. Then let's do the fourth operation we should archive. Let's so we archive the operation. We use the archive operation and we selected index 2, which is char sector. So ayun, here na yung pag sinelect mo yung display all, dalawa na lang sila. So na-archive na si Charles. Then into the main menu, then select the number 2, which is the manage clients information. So here, so here's the main menu for the clients. So first, view all info. Let's do that. So since nga wala pang laman, no clients in the list will be displayed. So let's do all now. Enter client's name. And let's enter the client's contact number, address, and it's been added into the list. Then let's add more. 2 more. James. Enter contact number. Address. And second client has been added to the list. Then last one. Let's add the contact number, then the address of the client, and that's the last one. Then we're going to update the information of the client. So just like in the dentist, we're going to update it. So let's select an index to be selected, to be updated. Client's name. So we selected James Bond. Brian Kim, and we're going to replace it with Brian Lee, and the contact number, and then the address. Here. And it's been successfully been updated to the list. Then let's do the archive info. Let's archive information. So let's archive the number 1, index number 1. So let's display first the list of clients that are going to archive the info, which is the index number 1. So the it has been printed, client archived successfully, so it's been deleted in the list. So let's display it to make sure. And now it's been deleted in the list. And let's go back to the main menu. So let's add a new transaction now. Then here are the list of available clients. So let's select index of BDKIM. Then here is the list of available dentists and services they offer. So let's select Louis, text, and select number 2. And here, so this will be displayed: the chosen client, chosen dentist, and chosen services. And let's view the transaction report of dentist. So here will be displayed the client, the dentist, and the service they offer, the total price. So let's exit the program.